Hello world and welcome to another segment of Fantasy Football. This week we're going to do a review of Game Week 5 that passed. I'm sure Wolf is very keen to do that, and also preview Game Week 6. As always, I have the pleasure of being joined by White Wolf, who's made his journey all the way from Detroit, 8 miles specifically. Looks like he was in a rush this morning that he forgot his Liverpool jacket of all weeks that he had to forget. He forgot it this week.
Yeah, disappointed.
He was disappointed in that. But and I was actually thinking of changing up the way we do this program. But I'm sure you have a lot to say about Liverpool. So I'll let you begin.
Look, let's start with Liverpool.
The floor is yours.
Away to Chelsea was always going to be a dangerous fixture.
Yes.
And an absolute gem of a strike from Jordan Henderson secured the 3 points. It got a little bit tight there, I'll admit, with about 10-15 minutes to go and it being 2-1. I thought, here's another Liverpool. Always tend to sort of lean towards something bad happening, being a Liverpool fan, because it quite often does happen. Sort of felt like that Spurs game where we really did dominate fairly long stretches for Spurs only to equalise. So I felt something like that was coming, but to get the 2-1 win against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge is huge. We've picked up 3 points against Arsenal away, Chelsea away, Leicester at home. Really only one ordinary performance in the first 5, which was very disappointing at the time, but you know, here we are at the end of Game Week 5 and moving in the right direction.
6th on the table.
Can't complain. After that schedule, was still a couple of tough games to come.
In hindsight, you take the schedule, don't you?
Absolutely.
You got 9 points from 3 very difficult.
Well, there's a soft schedule coming up after such a tough stretch, so. That's generally though when
teams that play like Burnley are up next.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll probably
challenge.
slide back down to mid-table. But no, look, very very happy with how things have gone, except for I think it was week 2 there. But look, can't complain.
I don't think you can. I mean, I definitely take the loss over Burnley, especially if, 4 goals each against Liverpool, against Arsenal and Leicester, and then 2 against Stamford Bridge away. I honestly thought Chelsea were going to win. New coach, they've been playing really well. I know the week before they had a slight bump, and so that really put a stop to their momentum, which is, was probably one of the reasons why Liverpool also got them.
And probably hurt a lot of people that went for expensive Chelsea midfielders in their squads. Because,
like myself, but I'm sure there's people out there with Costa and he still delivered.
Yeah, well, that's right.
It's funny, the people you don't like always deliver, and you just face with the same.
Well, I also saw, speaking of people you don't like, Sterling I think got a couple bonus points. So he's either getting bonus points or he's scoring 1 point. There's no sort of in between for him. But
when you say 1 point, and that's by virtue of touching the ball once in the entire game.
Exactly.
But then he'll give you bonus points. So it's a tough one.
Yeah.
But at his price, to his credit, you don't have to expect too much. Moving on to how we performed. I had a much better week than last week. I think last week was an absolute shocker for me. Game week 4 where I only had 23 points and I had players not playing left, right, centre. So this week I got screwed over with the captaincy because I had left Hazard in. I woke up the next day and I was like, crap, a game has happened. So I did not change my captain to Lukaku. So my toss-up
that really did screw you.
Lukaku and Sanchez, and if I had both of them, I would have got an extra 10 points. I ended up with 44.
Did he score 2 points without the Hazard?
Hazard's got 2 points.
As a captain? Or was it 4 points?
No, he gave 4 points. So it doubled.
Yeah.
It doubled.
Yeah.
But we had the likes of Lukaku and Sanchez with 12 and 10 respectively. So again, it highlights the importance of captaincy. Captaincy is crucial. I had the players there because of timing. I didn't do it. Now that's 10 points. That 10 points can mean a couple 100,000 points.
Oh, yeah.
In
position,
exactly, in position. We've got a Walker going through with the sneaky preview. So moving on from how I did, if you look at Sanchez, my key performers were Sanchez, gave 10 points. Lukaku with 11, 12, and Vardy with 6. Other than that, it was a very quiet performance. Defense, I got nothing. Again, Manchester United getting thrashed by the likes of Watford.
Yeah.
Certainly
Bit of a
didn't
shock.
help.
Great result though, but a bit of a shock.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a great result for most people, but from a fantasy perspective, it was horrible for me because I only got 2 points from the game. 3 goals conceded, nothing. So that really stuck me up. And I've also got a Man City defender who Man City did have the clean sheet, but the week that they had the clean sheet, Stones came off the bench, so there was rotation. So I kind of
I did notice I had the same problem with Otamendi. Well, it wasn't so much rotation, but he played 55 minutes, and I was looking everywhere to find out, is he injured? What happened?
Yeah.
I think it is just squad rotation, is it?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. So I do need to make changes, and the question for me is whether to use my wildcard or not. I think at this stage I won't, but it's something I'll consider. I'll see if I can make perhaps two changes and go. So the regression continues for my team, although I did make a little bit of a comeback in the top 35% only. So it's really.
How many points did you get for the week?
I got 44 points. So leaving my 44 points, I think my key thing is making sure you make your changes on time.
It's generally
even if you made your transfers, captaincy, just do it. Just do it beforehand. Just do it midweek, and then you can think about it later. Because if you don't, it leaves you.
I always lean towards, like, I've made most of my decisions for the weekend now.
Exactly.
And then having said that, I then go back in the sort of Friday afternoon our time, and make it, I guess, have another final check and make any sort of moves that I need to from there. But I've done that in the past where I get times wrong or something and just miss the cutoff, and so I always try and get that done earlier than I probably should.
Yeah, exactly. Never leave it later. Just get it done now. What's the worst that could happen? Your captain will be who you want it to be. Everything will be there. So I think on that basis you should go. Leaving my 44 points, I'll go to the man who is exactly 40 points ahead of me.
Yep.
First on the table.
Yep.
I've slipped down to 12th.
Yes.
You were 12th.
I had a shocking start. Yeah.
And now you are first. So talk to me about your 61 points.
61 points again. 9 bonus points. So it's back-to-back big weeks in terms of scoring those points. 11 or 12. Yeah.
Wow.
4 points clear at the top of the league. Thought I'd add. Guys like Kapue, another goal, another 3 bonus points.
You were smart this week.
I had him in the squad. So
you didn't have him against West Ham, but you decided to have him against Man United.
Yeah. Well, look.
What a great move.
Reasoning behind that was I had made. See, the last 3 weeks I'd been making transfers that would enable me this week to get Aguero. So I brought him in, and then now, I was lucky. I certainly didn't bring him in specifically for the United clash because I didn't think that they'd be winning 3-1. Glad they did, but on the side of him, I had finally Townsend from Crystal Palace had his first big game with 3 bonus points.
He's been expected to do a lot of good things.
Yeah, he's been relatively disappointing. Zaha's been okay since their slow start, so pretty happy to see him scoring some points. And then obviously I've got Lukaku with another 3 bonus points, and then Ibrahimovic with the assist as captain. So look, really happy. Can't really complain about a hell of a lot. I've had the one bad week where I think I scored 20 odd points. And then aside from that, particularly the last couple of weeks with Crystal Palace playing well and my strategy in that regard finally coming to fruition, I can now look for onwards and upwards, and with the potential of having Aguero in the lineup after making some pretty decent transfers over the last few weeks to ensure that
it's awesome because from week 1 you've been talking about Crystal Palace and you got to the point where you're about to jump off.
Yeah.
But you kept them, and Aguero suspension came through, so you were like, okay, I'm going to tweak my team so I can do those, and you've brought in these cheaper Crystal Palace players because of schedule, which is the importance, which is why we do a segment on the schedule.
Yeah.
And that has enabled you to bring in Aguero, but more importantly, that is the reason why you've gone up
Yeah,
to the top of the
100%.
table. So you currently have 3 Crystal Palace players.
No,
Just
I
two.
did, and I'm really upset because I did see who scored for them
That's right.
on the weekend was a defender that I started the season with. That slow start where I think the first 3 games they scored 1, I was just about to pull the plug on my Crystal Palace experiment.
Exactly.
And that's when they had purchased Christian Benteke. So I thought, well, I'll give the midfielders another chance, but then I'll move on from Dan. And unfortunately, I think he scored 2, maybe even 3 goals so far this season.
Well, it's two goals in 5 games.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to expect much more from a defender.
No, not at all. So look, that's one downside of it. But I'm happy enough knowing that I found a bit of a weakness in their early schedule. I was certainly not on the money in the first 2 games, but they've really turned it around with the purchase of Benteke, and things look to be clicking pretty well for them. I guess to put it into perspective, they scored 1 in the first 3. They've scored 6 in the last 2. So
the offense is flowing.
Yeah,
I think the new signings are getting a bit more.
And
familiar.
sometimes it takes, that they did.
Do you think it has to do a bit with familiarity as well?
I think 100% that has something to do with it.
A few more training sessions.
They were missing a striker. Like, there's all well and good to just have quality midfielders, but if they've got no one to,
you need someone to score.
Someone has to score. So, and it's not like Benteke scoring a lot of goals, but he's in positions
you just need that consistency.
Yeah. So,
especially at the club at that level.
Yeah, that's right.
You need that one
I think they'll continue to get better, and there's still a couple of weeks of their schedule that I don't mind, and then it's, I guess, probably moving on from that, which was always the go when I started with them.
My question to you is: are you going to wear a Crystal Palace jacket soon?
I should, but no, you'll never see me in another Premier League team's jacket aside from Liverpool.
That's all right. I respect that. Well, here's something interesting. You've gone from the bottom 40%.
Mm-hmm.
Now you are the top 5.5% in the world.
Wow, I didn't. I like the stats. I didn't look that deep into that, but yeah, it's been a pretty good, particularly the last couple of weeks. Yeah, pretty happy, and I feel pretty confident moving forward with the outfit
now that
I've put
you've got in Aguero as well, so...
Well, this is the thing. You touched on it just before. Using the wild card, and if because I contemplated just kind of sticking to the strategy that I had. I made a decision to save the wild card and then use the 3 weeks that he was out to move people around to ensure that when he's back I can make that one transfer.
It's the planning, isn't it?
Yeah, so if the people that haven't sort of pre-planned, then there's no better opportunity than now to use a wild card if you're unable to get him in, and if you'll either sort of look. I'm looking at paying 4 points to have him into the squad this weekend, which I'm more than happy with.
In the long run, it's worth it.
However, people who it may take 3 or 4 transfers to get him into the squad, that it might be worthwhile bringing him in right now and using that wild card.
Or you could do what the person who got the highest points this week did.
What was that?
Did you not see?
No.
Well, he got 120 points.
Right.
He played his triple captain.
Oh, and who was that?
I believe it was De Bruyne.
Mm.
Yeah, so he did his triple captain. But do you know how many transfers he made?
Oh, how many?
Not 1.
No.
Not 2. Not 3. Not 4.
What?
Not 5. Not 6. Not 7. This is getting old. I'll tell you exactly. How many players in a football team?
So
how many players on the pitch?
There's 11.
He made 13.
But didn't pay for them.
Negative 48 points.
Oh my goodness.
If you are going to
That's
do
a mistake, isn't it? Why
if
do
you're
you
going
not
to do
use?
that,
He already used his wild
please
card.
use your wild card.
Maybe he's already used it.
You get 2 wild cards, but I know one is during the January transfer.
Well, I'm shocked.
That's
look, for anyone else listening there, please don't do that. That's
and I'll tell you what
that's a week's worth of points.
Exactly. I'll tell you why you shouldn't do that. He got 120 points. He's used his triple captain, but he took minus 42 on transfers. He is 1 point ahead of me overall.
Yeah.
So I really don't think it's worth it. I'm sure whoever you are, you have your reasons. feel free to comment.
Well, look, I wonder if do you get like weekly prizes for best of the week or something like that?
I think there might be something.
Maybe he's just sort of pinpointed this week is the big week to
He's
try and
heading
win
into-
maybe FIFA 2016.
He's heading into early retirement.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, but I wouldn't be recommending that strategy moving forward.
Exactly. Let's move on to the next segment where we look at the impressive performances.
Mhm.
Given the number of goals scored this week,
Mm.
I think there's a
36 goals.
36 goals, and you said only 2 games didn't have 3 goals.
Yeah, which is unbelievable.
Which were the last 2 games.
Yeah, I think they are 2-1-0, so they still had goals.
Exactly. So there was points everywhere, all across the board. Even though there weren't many clean sheets, 3 to be exact, defenders had points galore. So we'll look at the most impressive performances. I think in keepers, the only impressive performance was from Jakupovic, who was on my bench.
Right.
Obviously, I'm not going to start him against
No.
Arsenal. But he gave 7 points, conceded 4 goals, saved a penalty, and had 6 additional saves. So I think from goalkeepers, well done, sir. He definitely deserves to be in the
I don't know how many people would have had them, as you said, due to the fixtures specifically. But yeah,
He's
all
actually
credit.
owned by a few people.
Yeah,
But I think he's
the second
because he was 4 million.
yeah.
Moving on to defenders, I had this guy in my team last year from Leicester, Fuchs.
Yeah,
He's been off to a slow start, but he showed what he can do. He had an assist. Leicester obviously had the clean sheet and 3 bonus points. He's known for making raids
yeah.
down the flanks, and it was no surprise to me that he got an assist, considering Leicester scored 3.
Yeah.
I could, without looking, if I hadn't watched the game, I would have told you that there was potential for him to get that, and he was there. And the fact that he got the 3 bonus points despite not scoring any goals.
Yeah.
Slimani scored 2 goals. Yet, obviously, when you score a goal, you get a whole bunch of bonuses.
Yeah,
But you can see that Fuchs is constantly active,
yeah.
and that resulted in him creating.
That's a good
chance.
sign moving forward, probably.
Exactly, and he obviously wins tackles. The next person was Jan Zuniga. It's probably the most efficient performance in fantasy this whole season. He played 9 minutes.
Oh,
He gave you a
12
goal,
points.
gave you an assist,
Wow.
2 bonus points.
That's impressive. I've never heard of the bloke.
Yeah, and he's not going to be playing. Or the entire season he's played 10 minutes.
Wow. Oh, right.
Or 18 minutes. So he's had a 1 minute cameo and another 8 minute one, I believe. Another one who's not shy from scoring goals himself. Seamus Coleman, he had a goal, clean sheet, 2 bonus points, killed it.
How good
Liverpool.
have they been, Everton?
Well,
Very
they're
impressive.
they've
Second, I
been
think.
doing really well. Now they're
Yeah.
second, aren't they? Lovren from.
Yeah, look.
No, talk to me about him. He hasn't been playing all the games, has he?
Yeah, he would have played most of the games. I like his centre defence partner. His name is a new guy. I think we got him for free. Been very impressive for a guy. You know, a lot of these players have come in at 20, 25,
Are you
30
telling
million.
me, as the lifelong Liverpool fan, you're having a mind blank?
I'm having a mind blank. Yeah, is that the tip of my tongue? No, but he was pretty impressive specifically himself.
Yeah.
And Lovren, I'm still leaning.
I wouldn't say he'd be the go-to defender. Surely not. This is he scored a
No,
goal, yes. and
but
I'll
I
give him credit for
don't.
that.
I guess my point that I'm trying to make is there isn't a go-to defender, and I don't believe they've had a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Still, there's no real out
And
and
there's
out.
no defenders who give you those attacking.
No, I mean you've got Milner on the left. He has been better than the first week or so that he started there. So he gets forward, but yeah, I'm leaning away from him. I just don't. Yeah, there's no one that stands out to either be a defend. I know Lovren scored, so it's a bit silly to say this, but there's no defenders that really stand out to be options as goal scorers.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you're not keeping clean sheets, then you're moving on.
Yeah, I think I won't. I don't have Liverpool players, but on that basis, I wouldn't go for Liverpool defenders. Next one, Cedric, clean sheet and 3 bonus points. So that was impressive. he clearly is doing a lot of work. There's a lot of effort. It's always good to see defenders give bonus points because you know that they are putting in a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And the next one is someone you probably should have left in your team.
Yeah.
It's got Dan.
Look, to be fair,
points.
I swapped him for Leighton Baines. So,
Okay, so
I'm
Baines
not
is already. Baines gave you returns last week. He had an assist or something.
Yeah. So I'm not unhappy with that clean swap. I mean, I don't have it in front of me, but I dare say they've scored very similar number of points at a very similar price.
Without a doubt. The next, I mean, he has the only thing impressive. He's got 2 goals in 5 games. So that's quite a good return for a defender.
For sure.
Had they been keeping clean sheets, he'd be all over the place. Problem, which they aren't, and they've been scoring. They've been scoring, but then they've been conceding, and they were off to a very slow start.
He's the kind of guy that historically has a half decent goal scoring percentage in terms of how many games he plays. So,
and there will be times, those rare occasions when he gives you a goal and the clean sheet, and you get a lot of points. Yeah. The next person is the hottest defender in Fantasy Premier League this year. He started off at 5.5. He's already up to 5.8. He had a clean sheet, 2 bonus points, 8 points. He's everywhere. Kyle Walker's everywhere.
Yeah.
If he's assisting, he's got 2 assists so far this season. 2 bonus points. He's always contributing in the bonus points side of things. So
but they've been relatively good defensively too. The Spurs, I think.
They've got 2 clean sheets in a row.
Back to back.
We'll talk about midfielders now, and this person, he just started off with a bang. He decided to 21 points.
Yeah.
2 goals, 2 assists. If you could have 5 bonus points, he would have given you the 5.
Yeah.
3 bonus points. He absolutely killed it.
Well, he's a player of the round.
No, without a doubt. And he was only 6.4 million.
Yeah.
The people who have had him, I know there was a lot of talk about him at the start of the season, but I didn't buy into it because I was like, I need to see what happens. And he really went in this game. 21 points. Prior to this game, he hadn't done much.
No.
And even with the bonus points side of things, he wasn't putting in that much.
He's been disappointing to be fair. But now that a 21 point outing brings his sort of averages back up to like he's playing really well on the season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
So I mean, is it just is it a one-off performance? I'd probably like to see a bit more, but geez, you could go plenty worse than having a guy that can score 21 points.
Exactly. I think a lot of people are going to jump on him. He did miss the first couple of games of this season, and then the last game he played the full game, just gave you 2 points, and now he's got that. So it was a very impressive performance. When someone gives you 2 goals and 2 assists, there's nothing bad you can say about that.
No.
It just shows that he has potential.
Yeah.
You might have, for example, Lovren as a good example. He may give you a goal, but that's it. Like it's you don't expect him to score.
No.
But if someone gives you 2 goals and 2 assists, you know they've got potential. You know they're going to give you returns, and it's always a matter of time. And Chadley has really come through. So it seems like he's adjusting to his new team. Next one was obviously on your team.
Yep.
Townsend, goal, assist, 3 bonus points.
Yep.
He actually got the clean sheet, the extra 1 point for the clean sheet because he was subbed off.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it was an impressive.
He's been disappointing. He's only new to the Premier League, so I'm leaning towards that. Has he now found form? Got used to the surroundings?
Will he be sticking around your team for now?
Yeah, certainly for the next couple of weeks while their schedule remains light. From about game week 9, I'm pretty sure I've determined to be the tipping point for them, where they are away at Leicester. Might even keep them for that game, depending on how Leicester go the next couple of weeks, because they've been
Leicester,
off and
interesting team this season. Not necessarily a good thing.
No.